Hey, what's up, guys? I'm still, let me tell you some doctor's orders, people. I'm still doing my 117 burpees a day. I'm still killing it every day. So, listen, tomorrow's date, I'm a 51. That's a Tuesday. We're almost done with this program. So, get yourselves ready. Get, start messing around with your pictures. Get ready to take your pictures on the last day. Get all your numbers ready. So I'm gonna start looking at your numbers. I'm really gonna start focusing, looking at your numbers, and probably see if I could put them into a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm gonna try to be more disciplined about that. So I'm really want you to guys to that messed up over. All right. So I really want you guys to focus. I really want you guys to push it, push it, push it, push it. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to do, and I thought about this. Let me explain the reason why I'm having you do this. The whole philosophy behind my program. Like I said, my program is not really an isolation program. I don't like to do, or it's boring. I'm not going to say it's not effective because obviously bodybuilding's been around for years, decades. Okay, so it works. Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, come on now, Lou Ferrigno. It works. I'm not going to say it doesn't work. But what I'm saying is I'm offering an alternative to way to work out, meaning that some of the disadvantages of isolation movements like bodybuilding is one, you need the cardio, so there's not that much cardio in regular standard bodybuilding, and two is functional movements. So you'll have somebody who's very muscular but they don't know how to move about in the world, so they're very muscular but then they hurt themselves when they pick up their kid because they don't know how to pick up their kid, because they're not practicing that in the gym. Plus it's not efficient when you do isolation movements. Why? If you're gonna work out your biceps and then your triceps, and then your shoulder, why not work out everything all at once? Okay, why not work out multiple groups at a time? That's the most effective way. And for most part, when you're doing functional movements, especially when you do functional movements quickly and fast, you get a cardio burnout of it. So that's why I try to do, functional movements when I try to have you do these things. And some of these moves, I'll be honest, is redundant because keep in mind in CrossFit, we don't invent any moves. A lot of these moves are the same moves you do all the time. What makes it unique is the different way you combine the moves, the rep schemes, how fast you do them. Do you do them and rep? Do you do, just 10, 10 to 10 to do multiple rounds? So my goal was to invent many new moves. Even though some of the workouts I think I've done some moves and I don't think anybody else has done. But my goal wasn't to invent the moves. My goal was to put these moves in a way that's unique, that has some CrossFit versus some Insanity versus some P90Xs to them, without actually copying those programs. Try to put them in a different realm. And at the same time, I think there is some value to isolation movements. Now, I'm not contradicting myself, but there is some value. If you want a body part to look a certain way, that only works through hypertrophy, which is isolation movements. If there's a body part that's a little bit weaker than everything else, like you're trying to do a functional movement and your limit to that functional movement is your strength in that area, then you may have to spend some time doing isolation movements to that body part. For instance, what I tell people is like a basketball team. If you have a basketball team and you're trying to have a good team works together, you're only going to get but so far having the team practice together all the time. You get much more efficiency if everybody goes by themselves and practices and then comes together. Practice on your own and then come together. And that's how I see isolation movements. So I tell people it's not that I don't do I still do isolation movements every once in a while to strengthen up different body parts. I still do it, but at the same time, I'm not of that mood that says, "Well, we have to do all functional movements," and I'm not of the mood to say, "Oh, we only do isolation." I mix and match them. So that's why I did kind of a hybrid where I was doing, you know, functional movements and functional moves that more so tax the upper body and functional moves that more so tax the lower body by doing cardio in there also. So I'll have you do push-ups and have you doing burpees and have you doing some jumping jacks. I'm taxing that cardio, but I'm focusing on that other upper body. All right. It's much easier on a lower body to do the cardio because you're dealing with such large muscle groups. The movements that happen to be isolationary to the lower body can also be used just for cardio. It's hard to do cardio with just upper body because you have just smaller limbs and arms, unless I make you walk upside down, which I did not want you to do in this program. You will, why didn't you do anything crazy like upside down push-ups? The reason I didn't do that because something advanced is upside down push-ups or handstand push-ups. I didn't put this in this program because my goal was not to have anybody hurt themselves. There's certain moves I wanted to do. I held back because I'm not there to coach you. And the problem with handstand push-ups, if you don't do them the right way, and if someone isn't there to hold you or catch you or coach you and see specifically what you're doing wrong, you actually can fall and paralyze yourself. And I'm not having anybody paralyzed or hurt themselves because of what I'm doing. So there's certain moves I kind of left out a little bit, only because I didn't want you guys to hurt yourself. Because I really did think about doing like upside down wall walks for you guys and handstand push-ups. I held away from those because I didn't want you guys hurting yourself. Now, if I meet up with any of you personally, of course, handstand push-ups. Let's try those. Okay. I do those a little bit differently. I try to do presses. I'll call them handstand presses. I don't like the standard, in my opinion. This is just my opinion about CrossFit. If there's a CrossFit move that I think is too dangerous, is handstand push-ups. For me, it doesn't make sense as a medical doctor to do push-ups where all my weight is resting on my cervical spine and then I push up. I don't mind handstand presses where I'm doing push-ups and I tap my head to the ab mat or cushion. I tap, push, tap. But to sit up there and rest all my weight on my head and then kip up, to me, that's one of the moves I have not mastered. And that's what it moves. To be honest, I'm okay if I never master. That's the one CrossFit move I could say. I'll be honest, that's the only CrossFit move that I say I'll be okay if I never master that, because I think it's a dangerous move, especially for bigger guys. I'm 230 pounds, okay? I don't want all that weight on my cervical spine. So I'll make up for that wad in other areas, or I'll just take a hit in that wad and just rock out everything else. Now, you heard me ramble. I want you guys to do for today's workout 300 air squats, okay? 300 air squats, 300 lunges. Every time your right leg lunges forward, that's a rep. So 300, 300, 300, okay? I want you to also hold plank for cumulative 5 minutes, all right? And then I want you to do side. Now, here's the thing about it. I don't want you rocking side to side. I want you to, when you do your side, so when you do your side, I don't want you. I try to tell people, no, dude, I'm not gonna have you do that. 'Cause I saw some of your videos. So I want you to do is, I want you to uh, push, okay, engage the core and punch straight. So when you punch, I want this arm to come straight forward. I want you to look. I want your chest pointed that way. I want your abs flexed, and your left arm or your whatever arm is that way. So I want you to have a straight line. Okay? It's okay to have your head looking forward, but when you're engaged and punch forward, you're working the obliques. So I tell people, you know, I don't do side bends anymore because I'm always educating myself. And what I've seen online from and read online for some of the fitness gurus is, you know, this will not help your abs. Rotational movements will help your abs. Because when you do this, you're helping more of the obliques. You're still forming your upper, well, your one here, your rectus abdominis there. So you want to focus on rotational movements as much as possible. Rotational. Even if it's still rotational. Flex your abs the entire time. Engage your abs. Do not leave it loose. If you leave it loose, the problem is if you're loose and you just use momentum, and all of a sudden you're not controlling things. So gravity is going to make you turn a little bit too far. Then you're going to throw your back out. Why? Because you're not engaging your abs. You're using gravity. You use momentum. So if you're using momentum, what's going to happen? You're going to go like this, and you're going to go too far. You're going to pull something. Why did you pull? Because you weren't engaged. If you're engaged, it's almost impossible for you to pull something because your muscles are keeping you. Your abs are keeping you from turning too far. You're engaged. You're not turning, you're engaged here. So you're not, you always have to, that's why it's not a fat, engage your core, engage your core. No, almost every exercise that you do in the gym, you should be flexing your abs. It keeps you controlled, okay? Lately, I've been practicing my snatches without a lifting belt. I said, you know what? I'm gonna bring the weights down lower. And when I practice my snatches, I'm not using a lifting belt. In competition, I may use it. When I'm doing my 1 rep PR, I'm using it. But when I'm doing my regular snatch and clean drills, I'm chilling out from the belt because I'm going to engage my abs a little bit more. Okay? So engage your abs so you don't hurt yourself. You're not just engaging your abs because you want a good form. You're not just engaging your abs because you want to have a six pack. Those help. Those are bonuses. But the number one reason you want to engage your abs so you don't injure yourself. Everything you should be engaging your abs. Every time you're about to pick up your child, you guys have kids out there, engage those abs. Engage, engage. It's this core. It's called core for a reason. You should be engaged in everything here. The reason people hurt themselves because they're not engaged in the core. That's why people come to the emergency room. I threw my back out and everything. Because two reasons people hurt their backs. They don't engage their core, so they let momentum twist them all over the place. And two, they're not engaging their core, so they have weak musculature. So even if they try to engage their abs, their abs aren't, their core is 1, 2, 3. Their core isn't strong enough to keep something too heavy for pulling them forward. If if I lift up something too heavy here, guess what? I could put it back down. If I'm not engaging my core, I pick up something too heavy here. Oh, it's too heavy. Oh, I pulled myself out. Oh, you could rip a muscle, cause muscle spasms. Tendon, ligaments, all that type of stuff. So let me stop lecturing you guys. But 300 lunges on each leg. 300 air squats. Do the air squats first. Oh, I forgot. I want you also to do 150 calf raises on each leg. So that's total 300. 5 minutes cumulative plank. And then I want you to do, I didn't even tell you how many. I'm all talking my butt off. I didn't tell you how many of these. I want you to, every time this goes forward, it's 100. So I want you to do 100 punches. All right? Peace.